of the rampant crime rate. Overcrowded correctional facilities have a negative impact on all conditions of incarceration, resulting in a restricted living space
Honourable
and
Minister, please just hold on. I see a hand there.
Is it fine with to speak sitting, Chair? I don't know.
Yeah, it might be that we struggle to hear you if you stand. So
If I
it's
stand
fine.
here. No, I was wondering if the minister is willing to take a question about his personal
Yeah,
conduct
just hold
on
on. Let's
anti-black
just
racism.
first inquire about whether he's willing to take a question.
Yes.
before we
I
listen
want to
the
ask about
question.
anti-black racism.
Yeah, thank you.
Honourable Chair, now, I'm not going to take questions at this time. There will be ample time in the committees as well. And I do believe the honourable members will have time to deliver their speeches. I have limited time. Thank you.
Minister. Please continue.
Another point of order, Chair.
Yeah.
You know, the rules say the minister must not read the whole time. He's left with 1 minute and he's been reading. The rule is here. Rule 8.9 says you must use the speech to refresh your memory. Because now we're worried about your personal competence in doing this thing of correctional service. He's been reading throughout. This is a minister who's asking for a budget.
Yeah, thank
He's
you.
asking for 87 billion. He's been reading all the time.
Thank
Is
you.
he competent to do this job?
Thank you, Honourable Ndlozi. I get your point of order.
To 157,056 inmates, constituting a 9.7% upward movement in 1 year. Unsentenced inmates, that is remand detention, compromises 59,574 of these inmates. And our overcrowding reduction strategy is being implemented. And yet, for it to succeed, calls for all entities in the criminal justice system to work in unison. Despite all these challenges, we shall not throw in the towel. Our job is to find solutions and create working systems. Working teams with other criminal justice agencies will strengthen to address the causes of delays in criminal justice process to ensure case backlogs can be approached in a systemic manner and pressure on correctional facilities relieved by joint action. The long-term solution requires departments and agencies within the JCPS cluster to develop comprehensive and evidence-based systems to ensure there are proper reform strategies that can be implemented. Offender rehabilitation defines our standing as the Department of Correctional Services. Key to rehabilitation is empowering offenders to function effectively upon their release, but equally important is to ensure that offenders are involved in production activities whilst incarcerated. The department is committed to ensuring that if offenders create skills, education, and experiences that will reduce reoffending and in turn make safer communities. We will have to become self-efficient. I also want to say that we will also look into the public-private partnerships where we have two facilities and to ensure that in the end, it is to the best benefit of the department. There is a court case on, and we will wait whether they only correct, but heals.
Thank you,
We have to
Minister.
work.
Your
We
time
have to
has-
work together.
Point of
Thank
order,
you.
Chairperson. No, it's not. I'm sorry. Sorry, Chair. My point of order is not addressed to the speech of the minister, but it's a technical issue. This thing is not translating, and it's been reading Afrikaans. We don't understand Afrikaans.
Okay. No.
So if I could speak Zulu, you wouldn't understand me yourself. So can you just deal with this thing of technicalities so that this house moves?
No, you're quite correct. Whilst all of us have the right to speak in any of the official languages, the translation services should work. They have been present during the morning plenary. I will ask the table staff to just check whether they are in fact working.
It's because I'm
Honourable
worried,
Member, maybe also just check this.
I'm worried, Chair. I'm sorry, Chair. I don't know how many chairs we have in this house. Because when I'm addressing you, Chairperson, there are people who are speaking aside and they're speaking on your behalf. I don't know what is going on here, but we are not in a debate of race here, but we're speaking about serious issues of our nation. So whenever we're trying to address an issue in the House, you keep on coming in. I'm not addressing you, but I'm addressing the Chairperson. So, Chairperson, I'm saying since the minister started presenting his speech, it is not audible, there is no translation. It's just English and Afrikaans. Because if we stand up and speak Zulu there, it's going to be a problem even for you. I think for the progress of this House, what is most important is that we all understand what we are saying here. So if I can just come here and sit here and waste my time listening to Afrikaans that I don't understand, then it's going to be useless because I won't be able to engage the minister's speech. So can you please deal with the technicalities of the House even before we come and proceed?
Yeah, thank you, Honourable Member. It would, of course, have been more helpful if you raised the issue slightly earlier. Thank you. We continue. The next speaker on behalf of the ANC is the Honourable Piet Groenewald.
Sorry, Chair, so I don't disrupt the next speaker. No, Chairperson, I want to speak to the sitting arrangement of the House. And I see that this time they didn't put placards. So you've got a very disorganization here. And I think it's only fair that after the DA, if that is the DA, Mkhonto Sizwe must follow and then the EFF. Let's do that quickly because this is not right. Members are squeezed who are part of the parliament. And there are small parties there, like Swart. Honorable Swart is sitting there like he got more than 30,000 votes. He must come this side.
Thank you, Honourable.
And our people want to see their representatives. Just allow the House. Also the diversity, man. It's not nice what is happening. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Ndlozi. As you rightly point out, seating is an issue in these small venues. For now, we're not going to disrupt the procedures to rearrange everyone. Honourable Ramolobeng, you're next up.
Thanks, House Chair. Honourable Chairperson, Minister Groenewald, Deputy Minister Njali, members of the House, National Commissioner, Mr. Tobachali, Inspecting Judge Cameron, honourable members, good afternoon. Budget Vote 2022 is tabled and debated just 3 days before the day the United Nations General Assembly declared as International Nelson Mandela Day. It is perhaps important that we take a moment and reflect on what our former president, Utata, a man who dedicated his life to the cause of freedom, human dignity, justice, said, open quote, "It is said that no one truly knows a nation until one has been inside its jails. A nation should not be judged by how it treats its highest citizens, but it must be judged on how it treats its lowest citizens." Close quote. House Chair, this budget vote contributes to a just, peaceful, and safer South Africa through the effective and humane incarceration of inmates and the rehabilitation and social integration of offenders at an overarching level. It contributes to outcome 3 of the National Development Plan. All people are and feel safe. Over the past 2 parliamentary terms, the Department of Justice and Constitutional Development and Correctional Services were combined as one, although with separate budgets. We appreciate the split into 2 separate departments. This move will assist greatly in our oversight responsibility. Reintegration receives 1.2 billion. A combined 79% of the allocation goes towards the administration and incarceration programs. The rehabilitation and social reintegration programs together receive only 12% of the overall budget for 2024-2025, while the care programs receives 9%. The Judicial Inspectorate of Correctional Services, which is JICS, receives a transfer from the vote of 114.6 million in 2024-2025, 120 million in 2025-2026, and 129 million in 2026-2027 happens. House Chair, having considered the annual performance plan for 2024-2025 and the budget vote of the Department of Correctional Services, the committee supports it and recommends that the National Assembly approves this budget. I thank you.
Overdue JICS bill should be expedited without further delay. I extend my best wishes to the National Commissioner and the newly appointed Minister and Deputy Minister for the forthcoming term. Thank you.
The next speaker on behalf of the MK Party is the Honourable Nomvalo. There is a possibility that it is a maiden speech, Honourable Member. If so, welcome.
House Chairperson, Honourable, because their only obsession is power and benefits thereof. They don't care about the people of South Africa. As the MK Party, we don't just object, but we vehemently object to this budget. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Member. The next speaker is the Honourable Deale of the EFF. And if I'm not mistaken, this might be the first speech of the Honourable Deale in the National Assembly. Welcome.
Stilo. The economic freedom fighters reject the vote 22 on correctional services led by the GNU mess. We equally reject the appointment of an active advocate for apartheid to oversee the political management of correctional centers, which by design continue to house predominantly young black population. Harena tshepo nix. Lefapha le eteletswe pele ke motho o tswa mo parting e ithapeletsang gore ANC e ba fe freedom or independence ya orani. A ka se re thusi ka sepe. Stilo. The country's correctional centers have been a haven of criminals, allowing those meant to be guiding criminals to be at the top of the food chain of criminal activity. Our correctional facilities are rotten to the core. They are rotten because some of those who lead the institution are rotten themselves. Keeping young black people in prison is surely profitable for the select group of individuals